Hello and welcome to the 25th hour at the Carleton University School of Journalism. I'm Evelyn Myers.
And I'm Connor Oak. The leaves are falling and the days are getting shorter. Our team has spent the last few weeks exploring how people in Ottawa are adjusting to the changing season. Today, we're sharing their stories with you.
You'll see a family transform into zombies.
Cider being made with apples from Canada's first MacIntosh tree.
And a farm preparing for the colder season with the help of Ottawa youth.
Our first story takes us to Vanier in East Ottawa. The kickstands on the motorcycles of the Capital City Bikers Church are down for the winter. On October 14th, the church held its annual Fall Color Run, the last one of the year.
My name is Rob. I'm the lead pastor here at Bikers Church. I have the incredible privilege of working with bikers in the Vanier community. Vanier really is the butt of everybody's joke. When you talk about Vanier, it's never talked about in a light that is kind of glowing. It's always like, oh, you're in Vanier. Oh, that place. A lot of needy people. We love the fact that we get to be a bridge to that community and not just give somebody a hand out, but maybe a hand up and get them to understand that there's more for their life than what they're living right now. In the motorcycle community, on any given weekend, you can find numerous runs that are taking place, and a lot of them are fundraisers for different groups and communities, causes. We love just to give back to the community, so we like to call this the last run of the season.
And so, Father, I just pray that you would keep us safe on this ride. I pray that you would keep the critters in the bush, keep the cops at bay, and keep the cagers away. And we pray all of this in the mighty strong name of Jesus. Amen, amen. Amen. Right on, guys. Thanks, man.
There's no feeling like it to be out on a motorcycle where everything around you is open and your field of view, what you're able to see and experience for your senses is pretty unbelievable. And when I got on a bike, the first thing I said is, why did I not do this sooner? Once you get on it for the very first time, you're hooked. You're just out there and enjoying every single moment. And it seems that every time you come around a curve or a corner, you get to experience something different that you would never get to experience in a car. We say that bikers, they really suffer from PMS, putting away motorcycle syndrome. Every year, there's a kind of a little depression that some people will go through.
Sad time, you know, but it gives you time to get it back in good shape for next season, and you know, it's sad. What do you want me to say? Got a really tight community in Ottawa. There's always an event going on. It's always real good people, so it's a lot of fun.
This is what we like to do to thank the biker community for their support for all those rides all year. So it's totally free. We do a ride, a chili dinner, a live band, just our way to say thank you. We have a service that our Bikers Church runs all year long. So regardless, a biker is always going to have a place to come on a Thursday night where they can feel connected, even though they're not on a bike.
While some people are enjoying their last bike ride, others are enjoying their last family picnic of the season. For the Afghan community, autumn signifies the end of outdoor family activities. Farouk Samim explains how hosting a final summer barbecue keeps him connected to his culture.
My name is Farouk Samim and I'm a member of the immigrant community in Ottawa, and I've been living with my 4 children and wife for the past 9 years. In Afghanistan, we are from a very foodie culture, and we love our food. So we have one of the best food, whether it's about the tender meat and whether it's about the barbecue. When we come to the park, it's usually we make a big barbecue. So we love that. What summer gives me in Canada is reminding me about my culture where I grew up. So I don't get homesick very often in the summer because I get together with my friends. We're very, very lucky living in Ottawa with a lot of space, a lot of lakes, a lot of beaches, and a lot of big parks. And definitely we appreciate the space, and that's what we do. We get together with families, we cook, we eat, we talk about different topics, and overall we enjoy life. And most of the immigrants here, let's talk about the immigrants. They are new, they are not very strong in terms of their economy, they don't have bigger houses. But in the summer, it's free everywhere. It's public park for everybody. They don't have to pay anything for it. They just bring their barbecue and their delicious food and enjoy. And the best of everything is for children. You know. They play soccer, they run. Many people might think that Afghanistan has been a conflict zone forever, and they only get the news about Afghanistan from the media. And they think that it's probably a very restricted culture in terms of women and men mingling together and doing social gatherings together. It's not. But it's also very common in the Afghan culture that even families, to really enjoy their social gatherings, sometimes women are comfortable with women. Children are comfortable with children, and men are comfortable with men. So this is, I think, a cultural practice in a lot of cultures. We're definitely changing in Canada. We're learning from the Canadian style of living. So our families get together with other families, our Canadian friends and stuff. We're learning from them to bring more cohesion.
When picnic season ends, hockey season begins. It's usually an exciting time of year for fans. This season might be different. People are upset with Sens management, and owner Eugene Melnyk in particular. Many Ottawa Senator superfans like Alicia Desmier are refusing to support the team financially. Here's the story.
For years, Alicia Desmier has watched every single Ottawa Senators hockey game.
Yeah, Shabbat!
She's a longtime season ticket holder. This year, however, is different.
I became a season ticket holder because I'm a huge Ottawa Senators fan, but then stopped becoming a season ticket holder because of the whole Melnyk issue. Eugene Melnyk doesn't seem to be a hockey fan, even though he says he is. It just seems to be more of a business deal. He's been shedding salary on a bunch of different contracts, Carlson being the obvious one.
Earlier this year, frustrated Sens fans bought billboards around the city that said Melnyk out. They accuse owner Eugene Melnyk of underspending on the team and driving out star players. Before the season started, Desmier was given free tickets to a preseason game, but
I didn't wear the jersey because I didn't want to support Eugene Melnyk by showing him that I was buying merchandise that would have gone towards him. I'm a jersey collector and I have over 50 jerseys. And I love wearing jerseys as much as I can, and I've worn it to every Sens game I've ever been to, but I don't know, I guess I was upset with Melnyk and for some reason didn't want to support him by showing I've bought merchandise. This jersey was signed by the entire 2012-2013 team. So instead I wore a Hots and Bacho shirt, which supports the Sens Foundation, and it's by Brian 5 or 6.
Frustrations with management are turning into attendance problems. The Sens now have the third lowest game attendance rate in the NHL. This was made worse this summer when team captain Erik Karlsson was traded away.
Oh man, he was so important to the team. He was a fantastic player, probably best defenseman or offensive defenseman I've ever seen. He was a great person, both on and off the ice, I think, just for the city of Ottawa. It was a very upsetting moment when I found out he was moved. And I just felt the rage level go from here to straight to the top of my head. I threw my headphones down and was like, I'm just gonna go for a walk. So I disappeared for a solid 10 minutes.
Like Alicia, Melanie is refusing to buy tickets and merch until the issue with management is resolved.
So I don't think he's good for the fan base or for the players. I don't think we'll ever have a fully competitive team again until we have a new owner who's willing to kind of put everything on the line to get us a Stanley Cup in Ottawa.
But not everybody feels the same way.
Go Sens, go!
I've been cheering for the team since I was a kid, so I figured, you know what, as much as I hate the management, I'm going to stick with the boys and hopefully we can get through this.
So that's Brady Tkachuk, Christian Wallany.
Other fans, like Alicia Desmere, will be patiently waiting for the day when the team will have a better owner.
It's kind of exciting to not know what's going to happen, and I guess for the players it's kind of like there's not a lot of weight on them because they're not supposed to do well, and I guess it's a little bit easier to play with. I'm a diehard Sens fan. I'm going to cheer for my team no matter what. Even if they're terrible, I'll still watch them.
But for now, that's all she's going to do. Watch. Our next story is best enjoyed with a glass of cider. Pete Rainville is the creator of the only hard cidery in Ottawa. Flying Canoe Hard Cider is made from the fruit of Canada's first MacIntosh tree. 25th hour spent a day with Rainville.
Today we're heading out to Smythe's Apple Orchard, which is located in Dundalk, Ontario. And that is the area where the first MacIntosh apple was discovered by John MacIntosh in 1811. It is a huge operation which is able to supply us with the apple cider that we use to make our hard cider. My name is Pete Rainville. We're at Smythe's Apple Orchard. I am a cider maker, and I run a company called Flying Canoe Hard Cider, which is Ottawa's first and only hard cider. Well, this is relatively new to me. My background is both in media and as a chief operating officer for a large company in Ottawa. The flavor of our cider was determined by my wife, Melissa, who is not extremely partial to cider. As our children got a little bit more upwardly mobile and we didn't have to change diapers every hour or so and they could play by themselves a little bit more, I had a tiny amount of spare time. So I guess I was getting in my wife's way a lot around the house, and she told me basically get a hobby. Approximately 3 years ago, I revived my equipment in the basement and decided to make some cider after a visit to this orchard, Smythe's Orchard, with my family. Apple picking goes on from harvest time, which is usually mid-August, and continues probably until about late October. The apples are all picked and binned. From that point, the bins go into a juicing room where the apples are sorted and picked.
Very nice.
From that point, they are washed and they are ground and then pressed for the juice. The juice goes into a holding tank, and then from that point forward, it goes into our tanks to bring home. The hardest part is actually trying to maintain the formula, so trying to balance the changes of the apples throughout the season is a very difficult operation to do.
So essentially what we do when we get to Flying Canoe here in the city is we transfer the juice that we got at the orchard to totes that are inside the cidery, so that makes it a lot easier instead of using forklifts and different things to manipulate that, because we don't have much space, as you can see. We've transferred from the truck into the tank inside, fermented the juice, moved it to a secondary, and then we go to a third process, which is the bright tank. which is essentially the carbonation, a little bit of aging going on, and as well as a chilling down of the product so that the carbonation can stick to the product. After that, we go around this tank to our canning equipment where we fill the cans, cap the cans, put them in cases, and then move them on into our cold storage. Being the first in anything is, in this case, historically significant. Ottawa never had a hard cider before. But the idea is that somebody has to be out there. Somebody has to go to the moon. Somebody has to push those boundaries and those limitations.
As the climate changes, good brews may become harder to find. Patrick Fiore is the brewery operations manager at Lowertown Brewery. He oversees all aspects of the business, from beer production to finances. We sat down with him to see how poor crop harvests hurt breweries.
Well, local breweries such as Lowertown will be at a disadvantage when barley crops eventually start to diminish. Larger commodified breweries, they purchase in bulk, and they have contracts with the various malt companies and the barley growers, so they'll be serviced first, leaving the small breweries to fight with the leftovers.
Is there anything that Lowertown Brewery is doing to prepare for a potential hike in prices?
There's not much small breweries can do. Lowertown's on the smaller side of a craft brewery, so some of the mid-sized craft breweries such as Bose or Muskoka, they're large enough that they can reach out and start to build their own contracts with the individual growers or maltsters, but we're just simply too small.
What could price increases look like at a local level?
It wouldn't be much at first, maybe a few more cents a can. At the LCBO, maybe 5 more cents. Barley as a crop is a generally cheap crop. It's one of the cheaper ingredients that we use relative to, say, hops or yeast. So it'll be a while before that affects the bottom line. If it starts to drag on, instead of a price increase, what you'll see is recipe changes and formulations to try to mitigate using higher priced malt. So you'll see a price change at first, and then you'll see a difference in product being put out.
How do you see that affecting your operations at Lowertown Brewery?
Everything would be baby steps. You're not going to show up one day and beer's going to be that much more expensive, and they're all different. It'll be small steps as brewers try to mitigate these effects, and hopefully they won't be long term.
Welcome back to the 25th Hour, Changing Seasons edition.
As Canada snuggles in for the winter, south of the equator, people are looking forward to the long summer ahead. As international students bundle up for the Ottawa winter, some of them might be wondering why they ever left home. We spoke to a couple of Carleton's international students to see how they feel about the changing season.
Yesterday was the first time that it snowed, and it was only for like a second, and it was just like, what the f***?
Oh, that's too early. I don't like this.
It's October currently, and it's already a lot colder than an Australian winter.
But Shanghai's winter is like, it's pretty cool, because you got home and there's someone cooking for you.
So the weather at home usually looks about like, it's just really chill, a lot of rain.
Ottawa's winter is so cold. When you look outside, it's just all of the same. Like trees are same, roads are same, everything is same.
And it's really cold, the fact that it like isn't actually technically winter here yet, and it's already this cold makes me a little bit nervous. But besides that, the actual changing of the seasons doesn't bother me.
So the changing leaves are like preparation for reborn. But I don't really like it, because it means winter is here, but I think like something gonna come up.
It was so beautiful, and I'm already seeing that some of them are like falling and that the trees are getting bare, But I really liked how like luscious it was, especially when I got to go to Gatineau Park, and it was really like orange and yellow. I really liked seeing that because although we like obviously get like changing seasons in Australia as well, it's not the same as here, and I didn't expect it to be this beautiful.
The first time I really experienced on the Ottawa's winter is I went outside to ski with my friends, and we just take Greyhound there. But the Greyhound bus station and the mountain still have a really good, like really big distance, you know? And we just walked, and we met two ladies there. And we asked, how could you get to the mountain? The lady just say, oh, you guys should like, they're still really far. You guys cannot like walk to there. You're gonna freeze, you know? And then, oh, probably we can take you there. And they just drove us there. And also they pick us back to the Greyhound station after we finished skiing. And it's just so warm, you know? Yeah, and I told my mom these things, and I said, oh mom, it's so cold, but still so warm. Because there are some people help us. It makes us feel really warm, but outside it's really cold.
I find it quite bizarre that your winters are so extreme and that your summers are so extreme. I'm used to places being quite temperate, you know. It does scare me a little bit about what's coming, but I think I am prepared. Hopefully, we shall see.
Because it's just, you cannot change the environment, you know. The only thing you can change is yourself.
International students aren't the only ones getting ready for the changing seasons. Farmers are putting their fields to sleep. There is a unique farm south of Ottawa that grows crops and harvests opportunities for youth. This is the story of the Ottawa Youth Farm.
One young man, I think one of the comments from his family was just the best. They felt that his motivation, his excitement about life, his whole being had changed, and he was back to the young person that they had known before. I am Jenny Roebuck, and I'm the farm manager for the Youth Now Farm. The youth harvest the vegetables during the season 3 times a week, and they go into the farm stand. We work with often volatile youth and youth who are really struggling with life, and we know that being outside and that freedom that brings, and not having restrictive walls and being able to see the sun, the sky, and the trees can really have a calming effect on youth who struggle with life. We're looking for outcomes that are specifically related to employment, personal self-regulation, social skills, and really we leave that in the hands of the youth to let us know what it is that they're working on.
I think I started at the end of May, so that'll be like July, since July. Since June. Yeah, since June. Oh, I love it. We get to chill with animals, and my favorite part would be the feeling when the animals come close to you and you're feeding them. It's really I don't know how to say, but when you actually the goats are my favorite. When we first came here, the farm, the garden was empty, and then we did the beds, planting, and harvest, and now we're just taking it down. So we went to I went to all the process, and it's really amazing when you see everything you did.
So that's one of my employees right there, the goat. So yeah, it's proven to be effective. It's hard to resist the power of animals. The horses, the donkeys, the goats, and how they can connect with kids, connect with young people in a way that sometimes adults can't. It's a program-based entity that's going to require an awful lot of tender, loving care. It's quite an operation to keep it going. But when you see the results, you're here, you can see the people who come here just remark at how calm you feel. You feel like you're a million miles away from it all. I don't think they realize the amount of work the amount of teamwork that's involved. And I mean, the number one thing we've noticed is their confidence. They're just overwhelming improvement in their sense of self, their confidence. They just seem to like themselves that much more and feel better about themselves.
It's wonderful being here. There's some letters that I'm gonna pull out. I thought when I first got here, I thought I wouldn't like this place as much as I thought. But now I'm so obsessed with it, like literally all in love with this place and everything, you know? There we go, it's clean now. We had the best 2 months, like I would say in my entire life, really. Like I just discovered this new side of me, you know, I didn't know that existed before. And just when I got here, it's like a therapy to me. It feels like every time when I get up in the morning, it's like I'm going on a vacation, not going to work, you know? Even the hard work, the sore muscles when you can't get off your bed, even that's my favorite now.
I think we see a lot of future for this project. There's just so many kids out there that could do better in life given the opportunity to be outside, to be working with animals, to be working with their hands in the dirt. And to give kids that opportunity is just a real privilege.
And now it's time to get spooky. This Halloween, one Ottawa family is going ghoulish. At first, transforming into zombies was fun. Now, they're turning into zombies for the 7th year, and it's become part of their identity.
There's something super empowering about being able to scare someone and being able to see them scream.
Megan Davies Ostrom loves to scare people every Halloween. So does her daughter, and so does her husband.
And you can see that moment when they've lost control and they've lost that difference between fiction and reality, and they are actually terrified.
Together, Megan, Dan, and Rowan are known as Ottawa's zombie family.
We've been volunteering at the Deacon Bunker for 6 years as zombies for the Haunted Walks incident at the bunker.
Mostly, I have to say, it's because Megan dragged me into it, as she seems to drag me into a lot of things.
We stepped into their house to watch them transform into the living dead. First, the makeup. Horror genre expert Megan perfects her family's looks.
It's an incredible transformation. She goes from looking like a normal kid to looking like something out of a horror movie poster.
I hate it when you do my lips.
I know.
Makes everything taste like makeup.
It's really neat what makeup and acting can do in terms of changing somebody's appearance. Working with the Haunted Walks allows us to really get into our more creative sides. It allows us to act, it allows me to have fun with makeup, it allows us to be creative and take part in the horror genre, which is something we really enjoy. So it gives a completely different take to the world.
So Megan is wearing her scrubs. She's a researcher at the Deacon Bunker.
They love the zombie genre so much, they even dressed up for their Christmas card.
I guess get the short one in the middle.
But in reality, they aren't terrifying zombies.
So I'm quite large. I'm 6'4", but I'm very conscious of my size on a day-to-day basis. But at the bunker, when I'm on full costume, I can take advantage of that size and help bring about more scare and I can terrify more people.
By day, Dan and Megan are civil servants. At night, they transform into zombies.
Government work isn't super interesting, I guess. I mean, there's not much very creative about what we have to do. Working with the Haunted Walks allows us to really get into our more creative sides.
Since 2011, dressing up as terrifying zombies has become an important family tradition.
It's a great event that we can do together. I mean, there's a lot of things that you do in life that you don't get a chance to do with your family. Everyone has their own sports, everyone has their own hobbies, but this is something we can do together, so we look forward to it every year because it's a family event.
That concludes our show for today. We hope you enjoyed seeing the various ways Ottawa moves through the changing seasons.
This has been the 25th Hour. Tune in to our next show where we'll showcase Ottawa's fantastic cuisine. I'm Connor Oak.
And I'm Evelyn Myers. Have a safe and spooky Halloween.